Hey, welcome to the second course video from the song The Outside from 21 Pilots and their album Scaled and Icy. I'm musically malnourished, and you're on my journey to go deep and wide in discovering new music and artists. In these videos, we do a deep dive into the lyrics and meaning behind the music. And with 21 Pilots, there's always a number of different things going on within the lore as well as the message in the lyrics. So excited to get in and check that out. Let's get over and see. Okay, The Outside expresses frontman Tyler Joseph's criticisms toward the music industry as a whole, commentary on the monotony of mainstream music, and his reservations that what is considered mainstream will replace 21 Pilots. Tyler uses a variety of metaphors, Megalodon and Megatron, to express a sense that the band was once a leader in their music due to their success during the Blurryface era, when many of their songs topped the charts. But now that that time has passed and the Megalodon faces extinction, as well as Megatron watching the cogs he once stepped on rising up, The Outside expresses the inevitability of how the music industry moves on from one artist to the next and highlights Tyler's bitterness towards the industry and how it prioritizes non-controversial, non-challenging music. This is not the first time Tyler's been bold in declaring his criticisms. On 21 Pilots' 2011 hit, Holding On to You, he wrote, "Lean with it, rock with it, when we gonna stop with it? Lyrics that mean nothing, we were gifted with thought. It's time to move our feet to an introspective beat. It's that the music that bombards, it's our heart that makes the beat." Something like that. And on 2015's Lane Boy, he says, "Don't trust a perfect person and don't trust a song that's flawless." Tyler has always been at odds with music that is thoughtless, but The Outside sees him tired of having this argument and even accepting that if 21 Pilots can't be mainstream, they will still make music from the outside. Additionally, listeners can read The Outside as a confrontation with Dima and their control over Tyler's character and his music. Well, you can also read into that from the music video as well, which is up over on Patreon. The Outside made its live debut on May 26, 2021 as a part of the live stream experience, which we will be watching together over on Patreon on Friday, December 26th, so the day after Christmas, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't worry, if you're watching this after that time, you can go watch the replay. While this performance has not been officially shared post-stream, its audio was remastered and released as part of Scaled and Icy live stream version album. Okay. Very cool music video too. One of my favorite. All right. I'm already bored. I'm pretty sure I've seen this one before. I've got a long drive. I'll tape my eyes so I don't fall asleep again, singing out. This says on February 15, 2024, in build-up to their album Clancy, red tape began to appear on 21 Pilots album covers on Apple Music and later other streaming services. That's interesting. In the context of the duo's story, spanning across many of their albums, Tyler or Clancy could be taping his eyes. Oh, and yeah, it is covering the eyes and covering one of the symbols for the bishops. So you can stay awake in the long drive, in quotations, of defeating the bishops of the fictional city called Dima. The religious figures are the 9 rulers of the city that try to enforce their religion, vialism. Tyler's action can be interpreted as a defense mechanism to fight back against them without being captured, as occurred for Scaled and Icy. Red tape, in light of various recent appearances on 21 Pilots' discography, could mean that the thing that's covering is dead. On the cover of Vessel, both Tyler and Josh's late grandparents are there. Sad. On Blurryface, the tape is covering the circle that represents Heavy Dirty Soul. That song appears to symbolize Keons, a bishop killed in the Outside music video. In both Trench and Scaled and Icy, the dragon and the vulture have yellow eyes. As seen in past music videos, when something is being seized, the eyes turn yellow. The only way for something to be seized is because it's an available vessel, which means it's dead. Yeah, there was a lot going on in that music video. that I didn't fully piece together. So I think too, we could probably look at this again if you're making a criticism on the industry as well. It's like, yeah, been here, done that. This is interesting because I wonder if this is speaking of his career. I've got a long drive. I'll tape my eyes so I don't fall asleep again. It's hard because, you don't want to allow your mind to be led in a specific direction because of maybe some comments made on here, because I do think obviously there is a criticism to the industry. You could pick up on that just through listening to it. Even when it gets down into the lines, the up and down they're nodding, heads are moving up and down, you got it. Everybody stand in line, kids will try to take my vibes. But so you kind of have that layer of it. You also probably have the layer of like not being controlled, and then all of those messages being portrayed within the lore. So let me know how you think this line fits into maybe the industry side. And maybe even into the deeper, like, what kind of maybe personally. Because I'd just be curious, the idea of not falling asleep again. Is that maybe being caught unaware? Is that getting lost in the industry? I don't know. Maybe that's where my mind kind of goes, clicks for me a little bit, is retaining the creative control, not bending the knee to the industry or to what will sell, but what feels right to you, what creatively drives you as well, right? Because you can create for the industry and know that, okay, this is going to sell well, but am I a sell out in trying to sell well? Bars. Up and down, they're nodding. Heads are moving up and down. You got it. Everybody stand in line. Up and down. You got it. One by one, take a hit, join the club. Kids will try to take my vibes, or am I on the outside? So I think from first glance, that idea does just sound like this. Okay, like, yeah, this music's going to get everybody's heads up and down. Yeah, you know how it goes. Use these sets of chords or these beats, and everybody will nod their head to it, which there is a side of that that's like not bad. There is some commercial music that is just fun to listen to, that is somewhat mindless. But if that's what everything becomes, and it becomes impossible to make a difference or sell or get played or get exposure unless you do those all very commercial beats, which AI will be really good at producing these things that just get everybody, like in the club type thing. And so that's what I think it's saying in the beginning. I'm curious, this kids will try to take my vibes, which I didn't know if it was trying to say like people would try to take his sound, but then it's kind of like, but maybe I'm on the outside. So maybe I'm not in with the movement. This lyric follows a theme of conformity with the music industry. Fans are expected to nod their heads, a double entendre for nodding along to music and nodding to show agreement. People line up when waiting to buy tickets, which ties into the theme of music. This doubles as a way of showing conformity with the music industry, something Tyler's touched on in songs such as Lane Boy, which he states things such as this lyric. Seems to me that singles on the radio are currency. Better stay in your lane, boy. We go where we wanna. Tyler feels that music is no longer a form of, rather just a way of making money. This also follows the theme of conformity, as it shows how people follow each other, do the same thing as everybody else. They're afraid to be original. By following each other and falling into these patterns, people will eventually fall into one group, leaving Tyler on the outs, as he will never feel the need to fit into the rest of society like a lot of people do. Tyler also expresses how he feels new bands will replace him now that he is no longer in the spotlight, and that the music industry will continue its pattern of conformity. This is a great part. I am a megalodon, oceans feeling like a pond, swimming like a beast, underneath they be clinging on. I kept trying to figure out if there was a Star Trek reference here, the Klingons, but I don't think there is. Meteoric rise in prehistoric times. Now that meteor is coming. I am Megatron, cogs I'm stepping on. Were the cogs characters within Transformers? Megatron's main villain, Japanese American media franchise Transformers. The series Transformers part alien, part machine, meshing. Okay, yeah, I know all that. Megatron's menacing demeanor makes his presence impossible to miss. Similarly, Tyler brings a large presence wherever he goes. Tyler's referring to himself as a transformer in this line also has some thematic parallels to Morph. Let me see. I was just curious because I know there's kind of like peon or grunt type characters in Transformers. So I didn't know if they were the cogs. Okay. No, but in Transformers, a T-cog, a transformation cog, is a crucial internal biomechanical device that allows a Cybertronian to scan, process, and execute the physical changes needed to transform between a robot mode and an alternate vehicle or object mode. Damaging a cog can trap a transformer in one mode. All right, so I am Megatron, cogs I'm stepping on. Then the little cogs get together, start a renaissance. So I don't know if it's, I don't think it's a tie-in exactly to how cogs are used in Transformers, but kind of a loose reference. But then the little cogs get together, start a renaissance, switch it up on me, fuel efficiency. On fumes, I am running. So kind of feeling like maybe he's on the outside, right? I'm kind of running on fumes here. And he's having to practice fuel efficiency. I don't necessarily want to say to stay relevant, but to continue making music, you know. The last thing you want to do is just disappear. In the summer heat, I'm in the street. I'm on the outside. So, yeah, like this isn't a great thing, being out in the street during the heat. You can pay the cover charge. I'm in the street. Little did they know that they can't touch me. I'm vibing. So yeah, I think the idea is like you can pay the cover charge. You can be on the inside, but I'm going to be out here on the street. And really, you can't touch me. Like I'm just out here vibing. You know, you try to shut me out. You try to put me on the outside. But if you look out here, I'm just out here vibing. I'm having a good time. I'm doing my thing. Which, you know, there is a side of success generally referred to like FU money that you know, you have more leverage when you're not so reliant. That doesn't mean you just sever all ties. It doesn't mean you damage relationships that you might have that, you know, are either good or can be beneficial. But it does mean you don't necessarily, you have a little less pressure to bend the knee because you don't have such a need. When you have had a level of success, especially if you've been responsible with it, you know, a lot of obviously artists and people within that garner fame may waste their wages. And so then, you know, just like in everyday life, you kind of have to keep working to keep making money. But I think is if you're smart with making a great deal of money, then you kind of are able in some ways not to feel the pressure as much. Now, obviously, as a creative and somebody who enjoys doing what they're doing, the live performances and things like that, you want to keep creating because I think Tyler and Josh have still managed to hold on to that creating for creation's sake because they really love it, and it is medicinal to Tyler and still the way in which he feels his purpose in this world. And so that side of it, it's not just like, all right, made my money, I can kick my feet up. There's that still that thing inside you that's like, no, but I gotta keep creating. Very cool, man. It's a super fun music video, and I know there was so much in the music video that I probably didn't see. I know you guys will help me with that. And I think it'll unfold as well through the story because this is the first time you really see the antlers from Ned come in, and it's curious that there's a bunch of different Neds, but he's kind of just vibing with them, and then one of them hands the antlers over to him at the end of the music video, which in some way taps him in to who's the one that got messed up? Sorry, I just forgot his name. Pulling it up. I'm so sorry, guys. Where did his name go? Here, let me bring you in. Oh, Keons, thank you. Whew. Feel much better now. But yeah, even how that ties into it, because then you've got the side that you're like, well, is Clancy Keons? Why is Keons getting sacrificed essentially? So I know we'll keep working through that, especially on the live stream that we have coming up. That'll be fun to kind of talk through those things in real time and, you know, maybe get some of my questions answered. But anyways, let me know your thoughts down in the comments. And thanks for being with me for this one. Hope to see you in the next one, because we're eating good.